Yo, Chibits. I gotta say right now, regardless of what anyone thinks about the CGI, regardless, the fucking story of Ajin is on point. Like, my god, I haven't seen Ajin, like, in a while, because the last episode I saw was episode 2, we're on episode 5 now, and the fucking episodes, I just binge watched episode 3 to 5, gotta say now, this series is definitely in the range of being probably one of the best series, in terms of plot, I think, of this anime season. Like, the fucking story, oh my god, like, I just want to do some overall impressions real quick, because some of you might not have seen my first impressions of Ajin a while back, so I'm just going to say right now, if you don't like CGI, you probably won't like the series, but if you look past CGI and you want a good-ass story, start this fucking series, like, start it right now, like, this shit is fucking good, like, oh my god, because I thought Ajin was always interesting. Like, I knew about the content from the first and second episode somewhat, because I read the first volume of the manga. Now I get to see this new content, I get to see the cruelty of what happens to Ajins. Bro, that shit fucking wrecked me. Like, that was some Tokyo Ghoul shit right there. That was some straight up Tokyo Ghoul shit. What was happening to our main male character? He was straight up getting tortured. He was getting tortured. It was so disturbing, because when you see this scene, like when our main male character gets captured, and he finally realizes what humans do to Ajins, I was just disturbed, because something like that, honestly, I could see something like that happening. I really could. Let's just hypothetically, okay? If Ajins really existed, I could see people doing that to Ajins. I could see people taking someone that's considered to be immortal, grabbing them and experimenting on them and doing what they did. Like, well, that was the most disturbing part about this. Like, the story is very good, but I gotta talk about that disturbing part in episode 5. When you see how these doctors or scientists are purposely inflicting pain on the MC and ripping him open and just making it to where he has so much pain that normal people would die, that is ridiculous. But on top of that, they say they are gonna drill his fucking teeth, and they pull out this big-ass drill and gonna drill his teeth. And here's the thing. They're not even putting him under. They're not even giving him narcotics or anything. They're not. They're just straight up opening this man while he is awake. And, oh my god, like, that is some crazy shit. And I noticed some correlations to this. Now, you can say what you want, but as you know, Kaneki was tortured for a span of a while, like 10 days or so. And with this as well, our main character was also tortured, like, supposedly 10 days. He was getting fucking drilled and shit, so... Okay, so, I gotta say right now, the plot of Ajin has definitely piqued my interest now, because I'm at this point in the series to where I don't know what side to be on, because both sides so far from what I've seen, like the police guys that are trying to track down our MC, and then these guys that are wanting to grab our MC and kind of make him hate humans, I see both sides. And honestly, this entire concept, it makes me start scratching my head, because I don't know who to root for. I mean, obviously, I want to go with the Ajin side, because from what we have seen throughout this entire span of 5 episodes, the Ajins are obviously getting mistreated. Like, they're really getting mistreated. They're getting experimented on, they're getting cut up, they're getting fucking tortured, they're having drills going up into their freaking brain cavity, and they're awake for this. I mean, and then they get thrown into like a what's it called? It's what you put dead corpses in, a morgue. It's, you know, where you just shove them back into that little thing and you close, like, the hatch on them, like dead bodies. That's what happened to the MC. They shoved him into a fucking morgue cell thing. They just shoved him back there in darkness and have him wrapped up like a freaking mummy. That is so inhumane. And what disgusts me so much is how the news and shit is covering this in episode 5. They're sitting there covering this, they're talking about how this famous doctor is, you know, been experimenting on Ajin for a long time, and then they do this type of sick torture. Just, oh my god, man, I was just so fucking pissed off with humans in this, like, series so far. Like, oh my god. This reminds me a lot of my issue with, you know, Tokyo Ghoul, for instance, you know, how I don't like CCG, because the way they treat ghouls, and that's exactly how I feel about this, just how Ajins, they're not really trying to do nothing, they're just fucking immortal, they're not causing any issues, but then you start torturing them, and then they retaliate back, and you expect them not to retaliate back. Just, it's, yeah, so, right there, I gotta say, the humans are definitely the big villains of this series. Like, really big villains. Because, as I said, I read the first volume, and I saw episode 1 and 2, and I kind of knew about that part. And I never really knew whose side was correct. Like, if the human side was good, or if, the Ajin side, or, whatever these people were. I never knew exactly who was the right side to be on. And after seeing these episodes, I got a good, clear picture that there's really no gray area. Honestly, it's just straight up black and white when it comes to this. I mean, you have it to where both sides are pretty much fucking corrupt in certain ways. I mean, you have it to where the Ajin side, they're trying to recruit our MC, they're trying to make it to where he hates humans. I mean, he'll try to, kill everybody. And then you have it to where the human side, they're just wanting to grab him, strap him into like a mummy suit, and cut him open and make him experience pain over and over again for many, many days, probably years if they could. It's a very fucked up process. So, my overall thoughts of the series so far, from what I've seen, damn. So, story so far, from where it's going, it's very simplistic. The story is definitely getting very, I expected it to go this kind of route, because, I mean, it's just setting up the premise, setting up the sides of whose side you're on, who you're expecting to be villains or, heroes, and so far, there's not really any heroes on either side. There really isn't. I mean, the only person that's really a hero, I guess you could consider to be, our MC, because he doesn't want to hate humans, but he's experienced the torture by them. So I wonder where that's going to go. That's probably going to get some good character development. I wonder how his mental state is after being fucking tortured for 10 days. I mean, any normal man, I think, if you were put in that situation, and you had your damn stomach cut open, and you're forced to stay alive, like, you can't die. Like, you cannot die. And you have, like, your fucking ribcage, like, opened up and shit, and they're just cutting shit out, and you can't go and knock out, and you're feeling this pain constantly. I feel like a normal person would go crazy. That you definitely would go freaking crazy. So, yeah. I wonder how our mental state is of our MC. I'm curious about how that's going to go down in episode 6. But, get back onto the plot. The plot, though, like I said, it's just setting up the premise, the sides, and that's about it so far. And our MC trying to figure out who's his allies and who isn't. And with the ending conclusion of the latest episode, pretty much he gets saved by another Ajin, an old man that wants to kill humans, or he doesn't like humans at all. And pretty much he's like, did you learn your lesson and stuff? Because he's trying to teach him that, humans are bad. And it seemed like the MC still, kind of cares for humans somewhat because of his, best friend. So overall, plot, very simplistic, but it's still so engaging because you want to know what is going to happen. And I feel like that's why I like this series so much. It's because the characters are so good. You want to know what's going to happen. You want to know if the MC is ever going to get that peaceful life that he wants so bad. I mean, it's like you're watching this tragedy unfold, and you're curious, like, okay, is he ever going to be fine? Like, is he never going to have a peaceful time? Is he never going to be able to live his life in seclusion or happiness and just not be fucked with by Ajins or humans? He can just, live his life the way he wants. It makes you wonder, and it makes you question that, but also many questions pop up where, like, where did Ajins come from? Supposedly we found out, like, there's some form of, dark matter, which, I see what they did there. I see what they did there, but, supposedly Ajins are, like, some form of dark matter, and also they're not completely, supernatural. They're like a substance. So, there's some really cool stuff, and there's also some shady stuff going on with, the human side, of course, because they're hiding some Ajins and they're not getting experimented on. So, I mean, overall, the plot is very engaging throughout these episodes, and it definitely held my interest from start to finish. It felt like, honestly, I was watching a 20-minute episode, even though I watched 3 episodes back-to-back, and that's kind of crazy, how it felt very short to me. That's how much I enjoyed these episodes. That's got to say something right there. That it was a really enjoyable time I have of the series. And I think out of all the stuff I've seen today, now I haven't seen everything I want to watch today, but out of everything I have seen today, this is definitely one of the best. Like, in terms of my engagement, like, just getting into the series, it definitely got me. Maybe it's because I've always liked, the darker, morbid type series, especially with, seeing a character have to deal with the mental state of choosing which side's right, and also, kind of, what happened to him. It reminds me a lot of some form and elements of Tokyo Ghoul. But yeah, tell me your thoughts in the comments below. How do you all feel about this series so far? I mean, Gotta say, many probably already by now, if you made it this far to episode 5, I think you're not really caring too much about the CGI. I feel like anyone that really cares too much about the CGI has probably long dropped this series on the first damn episode or second episode. And if so, I guess that's a good thing, because, I mean, the series is not obviously going to be for everyone. I mean, it's CGI, and I can understand CGI is not the best thing ever. I mean, I bitch about CGI a lot myself, and honestly, I'm not a big fan of, like, certain series getting CGI, you know, upcoming Berserk anime, but I'm willing to look past it if it's done right, and the CGI honestly does not look that bad. I mean, it could be a hell of a lot better, but I mean, it's not that bad. It could be a whole lot worse. I've seen some pretty fucking shitty CGI, so overall, I think Ajin definitely gets my thumbs up for, just being very engaging and enjoyable. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please be safe. Chibi out.